Hello, and welcome to healthyhouseplants.com, where we teach you all about gardening in the great indoors. If you'd like to support our show, please use our Amazon affiliate link below. Today, another installment of Plant Stories, and we are going to be talking about this very cool plant, the Venus Flytrap. So this plant is native to North and South Carolina, and it's the only member of its genus, which is Dionea, and it is only found in North and South Carolina, where it's common in damp, moist, mossy areas. So it's pretty, in all respects, it's a pretty rare plant, which is very cool. So when you grow it indoors, it's very fun to do so. I began growing this plant indoors when I was young. I was in middle school, and I became very popular when my friends found out that I was growing this plant. So they wanted to come to my house and feed it, which was a lot of fun. So it is a very fun plant. You can feed them. I'm doing another video on their plant care and showing the feeding, so check that out too if you want to see that. So in this video, talking about its history, which is actually really fascinating. So fascinating, in fact, that this plant was described by Charles Darwin as one of the most wonderful plants in the world. And the reason that he said that is because of its evolution. So the Venus flytrap did not actually originate as a carnivorous plant. How it began was as a simple sticky leafed plant, so sticky leaves, and the flies and different insects would stick on its leaves. So through the course of time, it began to evolve into the far more lethal type of plant that it is, which what happens is when an insect gets inside of one of its traps, it closes, and then what is released is a liquid that then breaks down the insect within the trap, and that gives the plant some nutrients. So it evolved into the plant that it is today. So the trigger hairs that are in there that cause the trap to close, there's a sweet smelling dew that attracts the insects. Then these teeth and all that evolved over time through adaptation, and that's why Charles Darwin was so intrigued by the plant. So you would think, okay, if it needs insects to survive, right? Well, actually, it doesn't need insects to survive, which is another very fascinating thing about the plant. The plant actually can live without the insects. It's because it's photosynthetic, which means that it survives by getting energy from sunlight, like all plants do. So it can go on and on without feeding on insects. So then another question, as Darwin asked, is, okay, so why then is this plant able to survive without insects? However, it has this mechanism to catch all these insects, right? So that answer is that the plant evolved in soil that was lacking the nutrients that was necessary for its survival. So here we go with survival of the fittest, right? So to compensate for the lack of nutrients, this carnivorous plant evolved to access food in a different way, which was to have the little traps and the trigger hairs so that it could trap insects and then digest them. So that's how it got to that point. And that's how it became, to Darwin, one of the most wonderful plants in the world. It is easy to grow, fairly easy to grow if you know what you're doing. So like I said, check out the other video on that. And that gives you a good overview of the plant and a little history on it. So when you have people over to feed your Venus flytrap, or when your kids have people over to feed their Venus flytrap, then you can have a little history too, and do a little history lesson. It's a very good, actually, plant to use for a science lesson and history lesson as well. So thank you for stopping by today. Please leave any comments about any indoor gardening tutorials you'd like to see. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. And please check the bell if you'd like to be notified when new videos are released.